Braceface is a delightful Canadian animated series that graced television screens from 2001 to 2004, crafted by the creative minds of Melissa Clark and Alicia Silverstone. The show invites viewers into the world of Sharon Spitz, a typical teenage girl navigating the tumultuous waters of adolescence. The central theme revolves around Sharon's experiences and challenges while sporting a set of braces, adding a humorous twist to the usual trials of teenage life. Set against the backdrop of Sharon's high school and family, Braceface masterfully blends humor and relatable storytelling. Sharon embarks on a journey of self-discovery, facing the usual adolescent predicaments, but with the added quirkiness of dental hardware. The show cleverly weaves in relatable scenarios, addressing issues such as friendship, family dynamics, and self-acceptance. Maria Wong is Sharon's best friend and her partner in crime. The duo spends most of their time together, in school or at each other's houses. We all have an elder brother like Adam, heavily built and always ready to pick on his sister Sharon. Moreover, we might also have some enemies at school, all of whom we hate to interact with. Here, Nina and her associates are the antagonists in Sharon's school life. Last but not least, Connor, a geeky vegetarian guy, gets along with Sharon and Maria very well, and even gives them tips to impress boys. Episode 1. The episode opens up with our main character, Sharon Spitz, introducing the viewers to her comrades in school and her close friends, Maria Wong and Connor. They discuss the dance party that is soon to happen in the school and wonder who will ask them out for it. Connor makes it clear that he does not know how to dance and is not willing to take part in it. On the other hand, when Sharon mentions that she is waiting for her love interest, Aiden, to ask her out to the dance, Maria does not like it. The latter suggests her friend should ask the guy out. Here we are informed that Maria does not back out from saying anything on the face that bothers her. She is daring and has already participated in multiple deadly adventures like parachuting, skydiving, rock climbing, and much more. And at the same time, we hear a laugh, and the scene shifts to Sharon's least favorite person in the entire university, Nina Harper. Our girl hates her, because one time Nina blamed Sharon for breaking all of her dolls during their childhood. Not long after, Aiden Jones, one of the most attractive guys in the university, enters the cafeteria. He ignores Nina and walks right up to Sharon and asks her to be his dance partner. To everyone's surprise, Sharon happily agrees. Excited about the upcoming dance, Sharon heads home, but her joy is short-lived. Her mom, Helen Spitz, reminds her about a long-forgotten dentist appointment from her childhood. Helen makes it clear that they're going to address Sharon's wisdom teeth situation and install braces later in the evening. The scene shifts to the dental clinic where the dentist is working on Sharon's teeth and fitting braces. Just as the process is about to wrap up, a power outage occurs. Sharon feels a strange sensation in her mouth, but when she mentions it to the dentist, he dismisses it and sends her home. Back at home, as soon as Sharon opens her mouth, she discovers something unusual. She is picking up signals and hearing electronic devices around her. To her surprise, she can even eavesdrop on her older brother's phone conversation with his friend. Concerned, Sharon tries to share this newfound ability with her mother, but Helen is not interested in listening and dismisses her concerns. The following day at school is picture day for the dance, and everyone is getting ready. Sharon, however, is anxious about what might happen if Aiden discovers her braces. Coincidentally, Aiden comes over and asks if she's okay. Our girl doesn't say anything and stays silent, keeping her mouth closed. During the regular dance photo shoot, Sharon avoids smiling and exposing her braces, but when the photographer tells her to do so, she has to obey and attempts to smile. But to her embarrassment, as soon as she smiles, the power of her braces causes the photographer's camera to break. Feeling self-conscious, she hurries to the dentist's office, hoping to have the braces removed. Unfortunately, the dentist declines her request and sends her home. The next day at school, while in class, Sharon opens her mouth and the braces interfere with her plan again. This time she accidentally picks up signals from a phone conversation between Nina and Aiden. Shockingly, she learns that Nina is plotting to take Aiden from her for the dance. She also overhears Nina mentioning her braces and claiming that she won't be attending the dance. Furious, Sharon leaves the classroom in disgust. Back at home, Sharon musters the courage to call Aiden directly. She tries to convey that she is still available for the dance, but a signal disturbance prevents her from getting the message across. At the dance party, Sharon shares the stage with Connor, while Nina dances with Aiden. The energetic dance of Connor captivates the crowd, earning cheers. Surprisingly, at the program's end, Nina is crowned Disco Queen and Connor is named Disco King. After this, they are invited to the dance for the audience. Seizing the chance, Sharon approaches Aiden, and they begin dancing. However, Nina notices them together and pulls Aiden away for a dance. Despite feeling sad, Sharon decides to enjoy the moment by dancing with her friends. Episode 2. Connor and Sharon are at a laundry shop, waiting for the clothes to dry up. To their bad luck, as they're using machines for very few clothes, the shop owner behaves rudely and asks them to leave his property in 5 minutes. Right then, a beautiful young girl walks in and smiles, looking at Connor. The latter also smiles back and explains the girl's appearance to Sharon. However, as Sharon stands to look at the girl, Connor makes an excuse and walks out of the laundry shop. It seems like he's suffering from a cold and does not want to get embarrassed in front of his new crush. To his surprise, after he gets out, Sharon approaches the girl and talks to her. She then follows Connor outside and gives him the entire lowdown about the girl. The girl's name is Sally and has recently moved to the city. Sharon also states that she is about to join their class tomorrow and hands Connor her phone number. However, the latter does not show much interest in the girl and walks away. The next day, Sharon and Maria talk to Connor and ask him if he's contacted Sally. To their dismay, Connor can be seen wearing a mask and replies with a "no" in an attempt to cure his cold. The girl suggests a visit to an acupuncture clinic. Initially resistant, Connor eventually agrees after some insistence. In the following scene, Sharon and Connor are at the acupuncture clinic, where the former provides moral support to her friend. Meanwhile, when playing with the nearby radio, Sharon accidentally triggers an electromagnetic malfunction, causing all of Connor's space needles to fall off. Worried, she prevents him from opening his eyes and carefully places the needles back. The next day, Sharon and Connor revisit the laundry shop again. Our girl starts talking about her crush, Aiden, but Connor is uncomfortable and requests a topic change. Meanwhile, he takes off his glasses and cleans them. Unintentionally, his hair falls forward, giving him a more attractive appearance similar to Aiden. Sharon notices and finds herself drawn to him. Later, even at school, she observes Connor and doesn't like it when he's talking to Sally. Sharon feels compelled to tell him that Sally might not be his type, indicating that she may be developing feelings for Connor. Later that evening, Sharon waits for Connor to go to the market together, but he doesn't show up on time and suggests she goes alone. Moreover, in the chemistry lab, Sally engages in a conversation with Connor about acid neutralizing a base. As Sharon is Connor's lab partner, our girl does not like it, and she interrupts their conversation, and Maria notices. After class, Maria confronts Sharon about her actions, initially denying any attraction to Connor. Sharon later admits to developing feelings for him. After a family dinner, Sharon takes her dogs out for a walk and coincidentally meets Connor. He expresses that Sharon is important to him and is willing to end things with Sally for her. Surprised, Sharon tries to walk away without giving a clear answer, but Connor stops her and invites her to a movie. Unexpectedly, our girl agrees, feeling like things are going her way and is exactly what she wanted. At the movie theater, Connor and Sharon get snacks and take their seats. Feeling uneasy, Connor goes to the bathroom, and Sharon wonders why they can't just be friends like before. She finds Connor less interesting without Sally and decides to invite him to the laundry shop, showing her double socks. To her surprise, Connor has also worn double socks and happily joins her at the laundry, leaving the movie halfway. At this moment, Sharon realizes that she and Connor are better off as friends rather than complicating their relationship. Episode 3. The episode opens up with Sharon and Maria discussing the mess in the latter's room. Our girl suggests her friend arrange her items to the correct place, but Maria mentions that she is okay with the mess and also adds that she does not stay much in her room. However, Sharon cannot take it any longer and begins arranging Maria's items on her own. She places her friend's clothes in the cupboard and proceeds to arrange the books and files. To Sharon's surprise, as she rearranges some books, she discovers Maria's journal on top of them. Here he is. She asks Maria about it, and she explains that she wrote it during her recovery from a rock climbing journey. Sharon asks to read it, but Maria says no. And just then, Maria's mom calls Maria to attend to the laundry, and she leaves. Using this opportunity, Sharon carefully opens the journal and reads a page. Unexpectedly, the page contains 5 things Maria doesn't like in a girl: being bossy, selfish, and others. Sharon goes through all of it and believes that her friend wrote it for her. Sad, she then picks up her belongings and decides to return home. Though Maria tries her best to stop her, our girl does not listen and leaves. The next day at school, Maria approaches Sharon and tells her about her recent development in the choreography for an event. To her dismay, Sharon criticizes it and suggests a completely new perspective about it. The two then start mimicking one another's dance steps and belittle each other. Later, Sharon meets Connor and tells him everything about her reading of Maria's journal without her permission. She then asks him to keep his mouth shut and do it at any cost, and not tell Maria about it. The scene transitions to Maria and Sharon playing hockey together for the same team. When Sharon misses a pass, Maria scolds her. Unfortunately, they lose the game, and on the way back, they exchange words about each other's personalities. Angry, Maria heads to the dressing room and finds Connor there. Unable to keep the secret, Connor reveals to Maria that Sharon read her journal. Furious upon hearing this, Maria leaves and confronts Sharon in the bathroom. In the bathroom, they blame each other for mocking and irritating one another, leading to a decision to end their friendship. Surprisingly, both agree and part ways. Afterward, Sharon tries her best to live her life without Maria and spend time with her family members. To her bad luck, she could not get along with any one of her brothers and not even her mother. She then realizes that Maria is the only friend she has. However, Sharon still does not speak with Maria and decides to amaze her by completely changing her personality. In front of Maria, she refuses to give her notes to Aiden and sends him away. After reaching home, Sharon starts training for the triathlon that her brother and Maria have been practicing for a long time. Everyone is surprised to see her training, and with very little knowledge about the competition, she takes part in it. The triathlon kicks off, and in the initial biking and swimming events, Maria takes the lead with Sharon's brother, Adam, in second place, and Sharon trailing behind. However, during the last lap of the marathon, Sharon makes a mistake and accidentally rides her bicycle into Maria, causing her to fall and injure her ankle. Other participants pass by them, and Maria loses her position. Concerned, Sharon rushes to help Maria, assisting her in getting back on her feet and supporting her to finish the lap. At this moment, Sharon apologizes for reading Maria's journal and trying to change herself. To Sharon's surprise, Maria reveals that what she wrote was meant for Nina, not her. Relieved, Sharon and Maria express feelings for each other and promise to be best friends forever. Episode 4. The episode kicks off with Sharon and Maria planning to attend a concert of their favorite band. They decide to stay overnight in the queue to secure front row tickets. Determined, they seek permission from their parents and start collecting money for the event. During dinner, Sharon shares the concert plans with her mother, but her elder brother Adam keeps interrupting the conversation. Unfortunately, Sharon's mother, Mrs. Helen, doesn't pay much attention to her conversation. Instead, she's focusing on getting her younger son ready for his music class. Without giving a clear answer to Sharon's request, she leaves the house with her 2 sons. Later that night, Sharon approaches her mother in the room, reminding her about the concert. Regrettably, Helen refuses to grant permission for an overnight stay to get tickets and be in the front row. Sad, Sharon leaves the room. Later that night, the next day at school during a history class about the history of America, Nina feels uneasy and excuses herself. Everyone gasps after looking at her, compelling her to look in the mirror. To her shock, when she looks at herself in the mirror, she discovers her face and whole body is covered in blisters. Terrified, she stands up and screams about having a plague, causing panic among the students. As soon as the students hear her scream, they rush out of the classroom in fear. After a while, the school calls out for all the students to gather in the auditorium and informs them that a different kind of rash has spread among the students. The principal also introduces Mrs. Helen to the students as a psychologist and asks her to help students with trauma counseling. To Sharon's shock, Nina gets close to her mother and even gets an invitation for private sessions at her house. The scene then changes to Sharon and Maria listening to music and dancing at the former's home. Right then, Nina arrives there and comments on the girls' dance moves before asking for Mrs. Helen. Sharon's mother also arrives there and takes Nina to her room for a private session. During this time, Maria and Sharon talk about Nina and conclude that she is one of the burdensome children. Later at night, even after her mother refuses her to go and wait in line for the tickets, Sharon leaves and stays at the ticket counter with Maria. Surprisingly, before midnight, Maria grabs her belongings and decides to leave. Sharon tries to stop her, but to no avail. Fortunately, after a few minutes of Maria leaving, Sharon's mom arrives there and takes her daughter away. On the way back, the mother-daughter duo talk about spending more time together. Eventually, Sharon gets grounded for a week due to her bad behavior. On the last day of her getting grounded, Helen walks up to Sharon and hands her an envelope. Our girl suddenly opens it, and to her surprise, she gets the tickets for the concert she was looking for. The episode then ends with the duo enjoying the music from the front row seats. Episode 5. The episode opens up at night, where Sharon and Maria are doing their nails and talking about what Aiden might be doing at that very moment. The latter then suggests climbing trees and peeking into Aiden's room. Our girl agrees to it, and as soon as we see the best friend sitting on the branch of a tree in front of Aiden's house and looking at him practicing guitar with his buddy, The following day, Sharon approaches Aiden at school and inquires about his preparation for his band's songs. In response, Aiden mentions that they're planning to get their songs recorded but are short on money. He also talks about his part-time job and suggests Sharon get involved in one too. Aiden takes Sharon to his uncle's meat plant to talk about a job for packing boxes. Our girl wishes not to get the job, but unknowingly gives the right answers to the interview questions and gets the job. While working in the office, Sharon calls Maria and informs her about her new part-time job. She mentions that she is enjoying the opportunity because it allows her to keep looking at Aiden and have lunch with him, but she has a clip in her nose to avoid the foul smell of meat. During lunch, Sharon sits in front of Aiden, but cannot eat her food. It is because as soon as she opens her mouth, her braces catch the communication signals from the slaughterhouse, freaking her out. Curious, Sharon decides to go and check on the process and rushes out of the cafeteria. At the slaughterhouse, she notices an employee treating animals with a taser stick. With her brace's power, she electrocutes the employee and destroys the device. Right then, a videographer arrives there and interviews Sharon about her feelings for animals. He also informs her that he is from a committee that looks after the mistreatment of animals and even invites her to one of their meetings. With this interaction, Sharon's feelings for animals change, and she decides to stop eating meat products and to be a vegetarian. She refuses to eat meat at home and even at school. After knowing about this, Nina decides to organize a fundraiser barbecue for Aiden's band because Sharon won't be there. Deep in her heart, Sharon really does want to get the ticket and see Aiden perform live, but because of her recently changed values, she backs out. But however, she is not alone. Connor is also a vegetarian, and he warmly welcomes her to the club. In the next scene, while Maria and the rest of the group are enjoying the barbecue, Sharon joins the videographer from the Animal Mistreatment Committee and helps them distribute meatless barbecue products. At the same time, she gets a call from Maria, who tells her that the party is getting better with Aiden's performance and invites her. With the thought of advocating the meatless products in the party, Sharon decides to attend it. After a while, she arrives at the party, but Nina notices her and blocks her way. She humiliates Sharon for crashing into a party to publicize her products. Our girl tries to explain herself, but Nina does not listen and starts to fight. The latter tries to snatch the products from Sharon, and while doing so, she falls into the pool while the other falls on Aiden's guitar and breaks it. Sharon feels very bad about it and returns home crying. Later in the evening, we can see Sharon feeling guilty for breaking Aiden's guitar and refuses to go outside of the house. However, Maria makes her believe that it was not her mistake and takes her to the nearby park. Luckily, Aiden is also at the same park playing with his friend. The girls try to hide from him, but before they can do so, Aiden notices them. He approaches Sharon and asks if she would like to join him for the game. At this moment, Sharon apologizes for breaking his guitar, but he reveals that his uncle has already paid for it, so she shouldn't worry about it. Hearing this, Sharon gets happy and starts liking Aiden even more. Episode 6. At the beginning of the episode, we see Sharon staying at home and reading a newspaper. Right then, she notices her older brother Adam looking at their new neighbor, Hannah, without even flinching once. He rushes to help her carry packages and fix her front door. With this, Sharon figures out that Adam deeply adores her and is crazy for Hannah. Later, while Adam is doing the dishes, Sharon shares her observation about her brother and assures him that she can help him get closer to Hannah. Hearing this, Adam gets excited and begins working on himself. Sharon makes a list of behaviors that her brother needs to amend before approaching Hannah. She also keeps Maria by her side as their best friends and to provide Adam with a diverse opinion. Soon, they begin teaching Adam to control his powers and how to eat properly with manners. The girls even dress Adam differently and take him to meet Hannah at the laundry shop. Initially, he hesitates, but Sharon pushes her brother in front of his crush and compels him to start a conversation. To her surprise, Aiden is also at the laundry shop, but with another girl. However, when Sharon returns with smoothies for Adam and Hannah, she notices Adam's friend, Caleb, walking in. Our girl instantly falls for him and keeps looking at him. She even decides to meet him the very next day at her brother's friend's gathering. The next day, when Adam is about to leave to be with Caleb, Sharon stops him and requests to join him. The older brother refuses to take her, but our girl insists, stating that she is willing to help him get along with Anna. She then devises a plan and takes Adam to the laundry shop. With an earpiece in one of his ears, Sharon instructs that her brother is only allowed to repeat her words while talking to Hannah. Together, the brother-sister duo enter the laundry shop and Adam goes straight to Hannah. The latter strikes up a conversation about their recent exam, and as Sharon instructs, Adam asks her how she felt after the exam. Right then, the shop owner turns on the radio and its signals interfere with Sharon's braces, causing a disturbance between the communication system of their earpieces. Because of this, Adam is unable to listen to the exact words from Sharon and he messes things up. To make matters worse, Caleb and Maria also arrive there and begin talking to Sharon, unbeknownst to them. Adam continues repeating his sister's words, prompting Hannah to get angry and leave the shop. Moving on, Sharon speaks to Maria and urges her to leave the seat for Caleb. With no shame, Caleb then requests our girl to buy him snacks and surprisingly, she agrees. Later in school, Maria confronts Sharon and suggests she stay away from Caleb as he is just using her to fulfill his snacking habit. However, our girl does not believe her friend and mentions that Caleb is interested in her. She even calls out Maria for being jealous of her and walks away. The scene then shifts to Saturday, when Sharon joins Adam, Hannah, and Caleb at the State Park Festival, despite her plan with Maria. Here, after eavesdropping on the gossip between Caleb and Hannah, she learns that she is being used and no one likes her. Hannah also states that she likes the old Adam and is not liking his recent transformation. After listening to all of this, Sharon feels sad and leaves. At home, Sharon apologizes for Adam for what she has done and confesses that she likes Caleb. But then, her brother reveals to her that Caleb is a leech and loves using other people's money. Adam then decides to be on his own to approach Anna and try it out. In the meantime, Sharon goes to visit Maria and writes apologizing letters, until she opens the door to let her in. Eventually, the two get along and the episode ends with Hannah and Adam hanging out together. Episode 7. Mixed Messages. The episode begins with Sharon trying to make a conversation with Aiden at the music store. She asks to listen to the music that he is listening to, and Aiden agrees. During this time, the duo gets to learn they both like storing their money in their shoes instead of carrying a wallet. After this, Aiden feels like they really have a good connection, but his friend Rock tells him that Sharon is not his type. On the other hand, Sharon visits Maria's house and tells her about the coincidence she had with Aiden. She then begins listing all the similar traits, annoying her best friend. In response, Maria suggests Sharon confesses her feelings to Aiden's face and to stop talking to her about it. She also makes it clear that she is not interested in any of the guys and this couple thing. The next day, Sharon gathers her courage and calls Aiden, but he does not pick up the call, and our girl ends up leaving a voice message for him, stating that they have numerous things in common and that she likes him. However, after sending the message, Sharon feels that she made a mistake and seeks out Connor to help fix it. Connor suggests getting into Aiden's mailbox and deleting the voice message. Following the steps, Sharon does the same, but when she's about to press the delete button, someone from behind her pushes her and she ends up pressing a different button and drops her phone. This causes her braces to interrupt the message's signal and ends up sending the message to Rock. Rock listens to the message and gets very happy to know that Sharon has feelings for him. He then rushes straight to Adam and informs about the message. The latter is shocked to hear about it and seems heartbroken. Later in the classroom, the French language teacher assigns a task in group. He urges the members to be a customer and a waiter. Sharon decides to be paired with Aiden, but before she can do so, Rock approaches her and asks her to be his customer. On the other hand, Aiden and Maria become a pair. Seeing them together, Sharon assumes that Aiden has no feelings for her but for Maria and continues being with Rock. Meanwhile, Rock believes that Sharon is totally into him and sends her a teddy bear as a gift. Our girl likes the gesture and brings it to the school hockey game. Maria asks her if she has started dating Rock, and Sharon gives a vague answer. However, in the game, Rock states to Aiden that he is planning to go first base with Sharon if he scores a goal. The latter gets angry after hearing this and slams Rock to the side, stopping him from scoring a goal. Sadly, because of the harsh move, he gets disqualified from the game. Eventually, the school team wins the game and all of the students attend the victory party. During the party, Rock gets closer to Sharon and tries to kiss her. Afraid, our girl runs away from there, taking Maria to the bathroom. She then shares the entire situation with her best friend. On the other hand, Rock approaches Aiden, and the latter asks his friend if he really is into Sharon. Rock then pulls out his mobile phone and shares Sharon's voice message with him. As soon as Aiden hears the money and the shoe thing, he quickly recognizes that the message is for him and becomes really happy. He then immediately calls Sharon and leaves a voice message, stating they have many things in common and should hang out often. On her way back home, Sharon hears the message and jumps high up in the air with joy. Episode 8. The episode begins with Sharon getting immersed in her dream, where Nina is troubling her and blocking her from eating anything. Soon she wakes up from her sleep and goes cycling with Maria. And to her good luck, Aiden approaches them and asks Sharon if she could come to his parents' restaurant opening on Saturday. He also mentions going rollerblading afterward. Sharon cannot believe her ears and falls to the ground. However, she gets back to her feet and confirms to Aiden that yes, she will come. Moments later, Sharon and Maria go shopping. Our girl even tries her best and practices rollerblading to spend more time with Aiden. Next, we see everyone working at Aiden's parents' restaurant. Right then, Sharon arrives there in her new pink dress, and Aiden's parents immediately recognize her. They make her take a seat and ask Sharon to taste an item from the menu. Our girl takes a bite and gasps. Seeing this, the parents think she likes the item and moves along. Moving on, Sharon is assigned different tasks at the restaurant, and she completes each one of them with utmost dedication. Fortunately, after a while, Aiden comes to her rescue and suggests they leave for rollerblading. Sharon immediately accepts, and the duo goes sliding in their rollerblades. Sadly, Sharon gets a cramp on the way and falls to the ground. She can't walk anymore and sleeps on a bench at the park. Seeing her situation, Aiden gets afraid and immediately dials 911 for emergency help. Sharon is then taken to the hospital and is treated for menstrual cramps. One of the nurses makes Sharon's situation clear to Aiden and urges him the sanitary pads to his friend. Just when Aiden is about to get a hold of the bag containing the pads, Sharon arrives there and pulls it away from him. She feels embarrassed and immediately leaves the hospital. Outside, she waits for a cab and holds her sanitary pads tight. Aiden comes closer to her and he tries his best to calm her down. He even shares what his sisters love to do when they go through their menstrual cycle. Sadly, Sharon is in no mood to listen to him and simply leaves in a cab. At home, Sharon's brothers make fun of her and inform Helen about her menstruation as soon as she arrives home. Surprisingly, Sharon's mother is very happy to hear this and states that her daughter has now become a woman. She then suggests Sharon take care of herself and leaves. The next day at school, Sharon feels embarrassed to face Aiden and hides in the bathroom. Maria tries her best to get her out and eventually succeeds. Our girl is worried about the fact that Aiden might have told other students about her period. However, Maria assures her that he is a good guy and he cares about her. Surprisingly, when Sharon reaches her gymnastics class, Nina's best friend Allison guides her to the trampoline and suggests she enjoys her time there. She even informs Sharon that she can get the day off from gymnastics during that time of the month. At the same time, Aiden looks at Sharon and performs a stunt with ease. Sharon gets excited by this and decides to try one of them. To her bad luck, she feels dizzy and falls on the mattress. Aiden comes to her rescue and picks her up. The episode ends with Sharon having another dream of being served different foods and roaming in the sky with her mother. But this time, Nina was nowhere to be seen. Episode 9, The Divorce Thing. At the beginning of the episode, Sharon can be seen talking to her father and discussing his upcoming visit to town. Her father is a musician, and for some reason, Maria gets excited and starts dancing around as soon as she gets the news. Right then, Helen walks in and mentions that she's going out on a dinner date with a new guy named David. Sharon doesn't like it and criticizes her mother for dating multiple guys in a short time. She then remembers all the men that her mother has been with. Maria, however, suggests she keeps calm and let Helen fulfill her loneliness. Later in the evening, David visits the house and talks to Sharon's brothers. He wants to meet Sharon, but she remains inside a room and lies that she is busy studying. After this, Helen leaves with David for dinner and tells her children that she will be arriving home late. As soon as it's past 11, Sharon comes downstairs and starts asking Adam about Helen. Helen arrives in David's car and the two kiss before they leave home. The kids see all of this through the window, and Sharon does not like seeing her mother kissing other guys. The next day, Helen appears lost during breakfast and pours Cheerios into her coffee. She then reveals that she has invited David for dinner on this coming Friday, and also inquires if everyone is available that day. Objecting to the decision, Sharon mentions that she has a plan with Maria on the very same day and cannot attend the dinner party. Sadly, Helen then suggests that she needs to rearrange the dinner for the next date. However, after the discussion is over, Adam takes Sharon to a room and makes it clear to her that she is ruining her mother's feelings for the guy. After a bit of contemplation, Sharon realizes it and agrees to attend the dinner. The scene then shifts to dinner, where Sharon puts out a lot of salt and sugar on the spaghetti before serving it to David. To her surprise, David does not find it strange and instead asks for its recipe to share with his twin daughters. In the next scene, Sharon can be seen planning with her brothers about the ways to get rid of David. She feels like he's not as cool as her father and cannot spend time babysitting his daughters. Moreover, to prevent Helen from visiting David, Sharon pretends to have a stomachache and stays in her bed. However, instead of leaving home, Sharon's mother calls David home and the two enjoy a couple of drinks. Some days after, Sharon's dad, Richard, arrives in town and takes the children outside. He assures them that he is here to stay for more than 2 months. During the meeting, Sharon asks about his first meeting with Helen, and Richard replies that they went out on a horror movie date. After this, Sharon spends all of her pocket money and tries her best to create a beach-like place for her divorced parents to get together. She even arranges for a horror movie show and decorates the whole house to let her parents reconnect. Sadly, when our girl tries to peek in on her parents, her braces interact with the main power grid and cause a short circuit in the house. In the last part of the episode, we see Sharon and the family leaving in David's car to watch Richard's performance at the concert. At this moment, Sharon realizes that her parents cannot get along and decides to let her mother spend her time with David. Episode 10. The duo Maria and Sharon are finding it difficult to spend their time during the vacation. They try out different means and eventually end up watching an advertisement about a talent competition. Following this, all of the kids in the area begin practicing their newfound talent to be on the TV show. Maria also decides to take part in the competition alongside Sharon. The two go into an empty area to practice and meet a trio who just finished their dance performance. A girl from the trio, Amber, approaches the girls and makes fun of Maria's skate performance. After a while, the best friend duo visits a music store, and to their surprise, Amber is also there. She urges Maria to buy an expensive music CD, and when the latter mentions that she's broke, she suggests she steal it to prove that she is brave and not a child anymore. Maria puts the CD in her jacket and leaves the store. Sharon tries to stop her from shoplifting, but she does not listen and leaves. Outside, Maria hands over the CD to Amber, but still, the latter refuses to take her to their group. Seeing every other kid practicing for the competition, Sharon also feels left out and joins Maria. On the day of the competition, Maria arrives with her new goggles and reveals that she stole them from the store. Hearing this, Sharon gets angry at her but can do nothing to change her behavior. However, she too wants something funky to wear for the audition, so to fulfill the requirement, Maria takes Sharon to her mother's room and makes her take a pair of her new earrings for the audition. Unwillingly, our girl puts them on and the duo leaves to get to the queue. As their turn is getting closer, Sharon gets nervous and begins settling her hair. While doing so, she rips off one of her earrings from its place and it falls into the sewer line. Because she took it from her mother's collection, Sharon is very afraid and wants to get it back at any cost. She tries to get it with a hanger but fails to get the earring out. Because of this, the girls lose their spot in the queue and have to stand at the very last. After the audition, the girls visit a jewelry store to look for an identical earring and luckily find one. However, the price is too much, prompting Maria to suggest Sharon to just grab it and run out of the store. Having no other option left, our girl also gives it a go and tries to flee, but sadly her braces turn on the alarm signal and they both get caught. The owner of the shop, however, does not press charges against them and frees them only if they earn enough money to afford the earrings by themselves. And lastly, we see Helen giving the silent treatment to Sharon, and the episode ends with Sharon and Maria working their butt off to collect the money for the earring.